So, before I answer the questions, which I'll come to at the very end, I basically want to give an overview of why funders, and I'm here representing NERC, one of the 7 UK research councils, so why funders generally are interested in copyright, or are they interested in copyright? So what are the issues we're facing from a funder perspective, and what might be the solutions to those? So what is copyright? I think, to me, they are tools of copyright and intellectual property rights more widely are tools of public policy to foster creativity and innovation. No more, no less. And I think like any tool, they work well for the right job, but they can be hopeless in the wrong application. I do quite a lot of plumbing and DIY at home, and if anyone's tried to use a blowtorch on a plastic pipe, you know what I mean. You know, we have to fit the tool to the job. And I think already today we've heard there's quite a lot of emotive talk around copyright because it's bound up with discussion around open access. So we get phrases like researchers forced to use Creative Commons CC BY, attacks on academic freedom. I would suggest this is not helpful. And so as a funder, I would say we're not interested in copyright as an end to itself, rather as a means to an end. So what is that end as we as funders are interested in? And I think Danny, to some extent, has started to allude to that. We want the research we fund to be as widely and as openly and as freely available as possible. We want others to be able to build, interpret, innovate, and use the outputs of our research. And that is not just the research community. So as research funders, we speak to a much wider constituency than just researchers, and we answer to that much wider constituency. So that is why research funders like the Research Councils, the Wellcome Trusts, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, DFG and others are very much behind open because we recognise we want to get the research we fund out there and used. So basically, we need a scholarly communication system which is fit for a digital age. So we need to try and remove barriers to access and to get stuff out there and get it used. And the phrase I use a lot is any user, any purpose. Now, copyright is one of the tools we have to help achieve this, but it's not the only problem. And I would argue that copyright is not itself a problem, rather it's the implementation through outmoded scholarly communication systems which are not fit for the digital age. And to be honest, I think there are, and I know my colleagues will say, there are a number of publishers and learned societies who have grown fat on these outmoded business models and now use their monopoly positions to resist change. As I said, as funders, we're responsible to a much wider constituency. And I think it's no surprise that all successful economies are built on strong, vibrant research bases. So the UK is putting considerable more money into the research base because we want to grow the economy through innovation. So basically, copyright is one of those tools which is going to enable a modern system, but maybe the current versions of copyright we have are maybe not the best tools, or maybe we need to rethink how we apply them. So we need to make sure that cost is not a barrier to access. We need to have wide availability for any user, for any purpose, while still protecting the rights of authors in the sense of being acknowledged as the creators of those works. And I think, again, Danny was right. Copyright within the academic sphere, by and large, is different from copyright in what you might call the creative industries. We need to make sure quality is maintained. And when I say quality, we need to be able to distinguish the true facts from what you might call the alternative facts out in that wider world of digital information. And I think crucially, we need to be open to automated tools for text and data mining. And again, we have issues with copyright exemptions in the UK, which allow, if you have a right to read, you can mine for academic purposes, but not for commercial research. And the boundaries between the two are so blurred and so fuzzy, things like that are just real brakes on innovation. And I would argue that things like academia.edu, archive, in-source repositories, ResearchGate, even to some extent open access and CC BY, are sticking plasters attempting to fix a broken system. So what's the solution? Well, up till now, the Research Council and others have chosen Gold OA with CC BY as the best tool out there for the job of achieving our ends. However, if people can put their heads together and build better tools, I think research funders will adopt them. And we recognise there are problems with attribution and reuse, but we have to work together to find solutions. So to answer the exam questions we were set at the very beginning, is it a net benefit or a detriment? I think it's neither. Has it outlived its usefulness? No, but we need to make sure the tools we have are now fit for the future. And whatever provisions we have for fair use, we need to ensure fair exploitation in a digital world where people can take material, use it and repurpose it without having to go through endless request chains to get permission to do stuff. And is it different? I think crucially there are differences within the STEM subjects as opposed to the social sciences and the arts and humanities, which we will have to be more sensitive to. I think we've learnt through the work we've done in open access. So I'll leave it there.